So we'll do a quick revision what we have seen in yesterday's class, and from there we will discuss, right? So I think we started in the first class, we discussed about installation, how to install any Python package. So basically pip install the Python command, right? Pip install the package name. So you can either write this pip install here in Jupyter, or you can do it in your command prompt, like Anaconda prompt, right? So once you install the packages, we understood how to import and take help. And then we also understood how to take help by just writing question mark. How to print anything in Python using print command. What is a variable? Variable is a storage or container which stores the value. In Python, variables are dynamically typed. What it means? It means once you define your variable, you no need to write the type of your variable, right? Data type is automatically assigned by the interpreter. Now we discussed about if and else. So if followed by a condition and then a block of code. So again, if you want to check another condition, elif, and then finally else. So any one of the block, if it is true, it will execute and come out of the loop, right? Until, like if it is not true, then only it will go to the next loop. So what is while loop? Until and unless the condition is false, the loop will keep executing. That is a while loop. How to write while loop? While keyword, condition, and then the statements. So for loop and while loop we understood. Sorry, for loop, what is for loop? It's an iterative loop. Where we discussed about range function yesterday. Range function starting, ending, and then we have step size. We can increment or decrement I value. And then finally we discussed about functions. So what is function? Function is a block of code which will basically be used for code reusability. So how to write a function in Python? def followed by the function name. And then inside bracket, you write the parameters, and whatever logic you want to write, you write. You define your function once, and anytime you can call it later, right? So this is the things we have discussed so far. What we will be discussing today. So today, basically, we'll be discussing few things. The first thing is we'll be discussing something called, after function, we'll be discussing data structure. So different kind of data structure like list, tuple, set, and dictionary, right? So that's the takeaway. Today we will just start list, and after I discuss some of the topics from list, there will be a quiz. So what will be the topic for today's quiz? It will be a function and whatever loops we have discussed. So using loops and functions, you will be doing a small program. So I hope everyone has installed Python in their system. If not, for today's quiz, you can use Google Colab, but make sure in this weekend, you make your system ready, right, with all the installation. Okay, so let us start with the data structure called list, right? Before I start, for any data structure, we have 5 to 6 data structure that we're going to discuss. First, we will be discussing list, and then we will be discussing about tuple, and then we will be discussing about dictionary, right? And then we will be discussing about string. Then we will be discussing about set. And then we will be discussing about NumPy, which is an external package, mostly array. And then finally, we will be discussing about data frames, which is nothing but pandas. So these are the list of data structure we'll be discussing in this week and maybe in the next week. Right? For all of this data structure, except pandas and NumPy, because these are additional libraries, a lot of things are there to learn. But for all of the other 5, list, tuple, set, dictionary, string, right, and set, what we're going to do is, first we will discuss properties, right? What is the characteristic, what is the properties of that data structure? After that, we will discuss how to create a data structure, how to create a list, how to create a tuple, how to create a dictionary, how to create a string. After we discuss create, we will discuss indexing or maybe selection. So how to retrieve element once we create a data structure, how to retrieve element from that data structure. And then finally, we will discuss about update operation, if it is possible. Update means what? How to add element, how to delete element, and how to replace element in that data structure. For example, I have created a list. So how to add element to the list, how to delete element to the list, and how to replace element to the list, that we will discuss. So let me repeat what is the takeaway for this week and next week. So we're going to start with our data structure module. For all of these 5 data structure, these are called native data structure. Native means what? When you install Python, you will get list, tuple, dictionary, string, set. NumPy and pandas are not there. It is not native to Python. These are external packages. If it is external packages, how to install? Anyone? Let's say NumPy. It's not there. When you install Python, NumPy will not be there. So how?
Pip install.
Correct. Pip install. But Anaconda will do it for you. Right? All the important packages Anaconda will install. So here NumPy pandas, if you have installed Anaconda version of Python, it will already be there in your system. So no need to do pip install. Okay, let's start one by one. The first thing is properties. So what is properties? Properties means how the data structure is, like what the characteristic. List, the first property, let me first write it down and one by one I will explain. The first property of list is it is mutable. Any idea what is mutable? Anybody heard about this term before?
Non-changeable.
Editable.
Changeable.
Yes. So mutable means changeable. Means what? Once we create a data structure or once we create a list, we can change it. We can update it. Update in the sense I can add element, delete element, replace element. All of this change I can do. That's why it is mutable. We will see how to do, but this is mutable. What is the second property? Second property is mixed element. We can keep mixed elements. What is mixed elements? So many data structure, like if you have heard about array, can you keep different data types inside an array? Like first element will be string, second element will be integer, third element will be float. Is it possible in other languages?
No.
No,
Not possible.
Not possible. The similar type of data only you can keep. But in list, mixed elements are possible. Mixed means what? One element can be string, other element can be float, other element can be integer. So any data type, any element you can keep it inside a list. So mixed elements are allowed. Third property is elements are ordered. This is a very common property, but some of the data structure in Python, elements are not ordered. So here elements are ordered. So once I create, it will be very clear. So what do you mean by elements are ordered? So elements are ordered means the way we will insert element, the same way we will get it. Right? The way we will insert element, the same way the order will be preserved. The order in which we will insert, the same order we can retrieve. Right? So we will discuss in detail, but these are the properties. One by one I will explain. First thing is how to create a list. Right? For creating a list, it's a very simple creating a list. So how to create a list? Very simple. What I will do is I will write this bracket. This is the symbol of list. And inside this bracket, I will keep my elements. The first element is 67. The second element is high. The third element is, let's say, 34.6. So as I said, I can keep integer, float, and string combined together. So this is how I can create my list. And if I run this, you can see this is a list, but let me check whether it is a list or not. I will hold it in some variable, right? It should be stored in some container. So let's say this list one will hold this list. If I check the type of list one, what is the type of list one? The type of list one is list type, right? So you can say this is a list type. So how to create a list? Let me repeat. So just write all the elements that you want to keep inside bracket. That is what it is. Very simple. Within bracket, you write all the elements separated by comma. Any element you can write. It need not to be similar kind. It can be any kind, right? One element can be string, one element can be integer, one element can be float. Everything combined together is called a list. Now elements are ordered means what? See, if I print this list, what is the first element? 67. What is the first element? 67. What is the second? High, high. What is the third? 34.6. Third is 34.6. Means the way I am inserting element, the same way I will get it. So the order is not kind of, it is reserved, or basically it is preserved. The way I am inserting, the same way I will get it. Right? So this is what is called a list, and how to create a list. This is how you will create a list. Any questions so far? Creating list is clear so far? Everything is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I will repeat multiple times, so no worries. So once I complete few sections, again I will repeat, and every day I will keep repeating, like 2-3 minutes. Same notebook only we will use till the Python is over. From statistics, another notebook I will start. So entire Python, whatever we're practicing, will be in the same notebook. And this notebook I'm not going to share. There are no like files with proper documentation and everything. For example, let's say list, right? So for list, I'll be sharing, let's say this is the list note. So there are a lot of assignments and many things. I think this we will do today. Function questions we'll do today anyway. So the list document, I'm not getting, maybe it is there in Google Drive. I will download and share. For example, the Python session 1, right? So Python session 1, I will be sharing this note with you. I'll be uploading in the drive. Where I am, I'm not getting this. Okay, I don't want to waste your time, my time, but it is there. So all the documents are properly present. It is just practice note. Whatever we are doing here is just a practice note. The fair notes I will upload in the Google Drive, right? We have 4 to 5 notebooks. One is for Python basic, one is for list, tuple, and one is for dictionary, one is for string. So every document I will upload separately. And there will be coding questions, practice assignments, everything, right? Okay, so once we understood how to create a list, then we will understand indexing. So remember one thing in Python, whether it is list or tuple or array or any data structure, indexing or selection, right? Indexing starts from 0. What is the first element? Indexing starts from 0. So the first element is nothing but your 0. So, what do you mean by that? Indexing starts from 0 means the first element is present at 0 location. Every data structure, the indexing will start from 0. So let me give you one example. So one second before we go there, right? Let me first explain and then we will go to the coding section. So you need to understand the indexing. So let me first write how it works, right? For example, this is a list. This is my list 1. And in list 1, this is how the list is looking. First element is 20, second element is 20.1, third element is 35, fourth element is 45.4. Now in this particular case, the first element will be index 0. Second element is index 1. Third element is index 2 and so on. And the fourth element is index 4. This is your index 3. Now if I write, if you understand this concept, who can tell me if I write list 1 of 0, what will be retrieved? What will be
20.
20. If I write list 1, right, of 3, what will be the output?
45.4.
45.4. So the elements will start from left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, right? So if you want to extract, let's say, multiple elements at a time. So what I want is, I want to extract 0 and 1 together, both 20 and 20.1, both I want to extract. So what I will write is, I will write list 1, I will use a colon. So this 0 is the starting index, right? What is the ending index? I want to extract till 1. So I will write 2. So this is some little tricky. Many of you will write a 0, 1. So 1 is not included. It is exclusive. So if you write 1, it will go till 0, right? Like a range method. So if you want to extract 0 and 1, you will write 0, 2, 0 colon 2. So what will be the output? Output will be 20 and then 20.1. So this is easy. Everyone will understand. There is one other way of indexing that is called negative indexing, right? So negative indexing, please pay attention. Same thing, right? Either you can use positive or you can use negative. So negative means it will go from right to left. So right, the last element will be minus 1. This element will be minus 2. This element will be minus 3. This element will be minus 4. Now, if I will write, if you understand this and so on, right? Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. From the end, you will start. The last element will be minus 1. So, if I write list 1 of 3 and if I write list 1 of minus 1, can you tell what is the output here?
45.5.
45.5. And what is the output here?
45.5.
Yes. So same element can be extracted either using positive index or using negative index. So every element will have one positive indexing and one negative indexing. You can use either list 1 of 3, which is 45.5, or you can use list 1 of minus 1, which is 45.5. Similarly, let's say I want to extract. Now this is clear. So anything, let's say if I'm writing list 1 of minus 3, what will be the answer? What will be extracted? Minus 3.
20.1.
20.1 is the answer. So individual element you can extract, right? Now my question is, if you want to do the same thing, let's say I want to extract 20 and 20.1. What I want to extract? 20 and 20.1 I want to extract, but using negative indexing. I want to use negative indexing to extract 20 and 21. Anyone wants to try? What to write?
List 1 of minus 3 colon minus 5.
Column minus 3.
Colon, leave it.
20 and 20.1. So what I will write?
Column minus 2.
And minus 2 colon and as it is.
Sorry, could you please repeat? Colon.
Colon.
Huh.
And close the bracket one.
Yes. Only this. So I want 20 and 20.1.
Minus 2 colon.
At last I will write minus 2 or
No, ma'am, at first.
At first.
Starting. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So there is a little confusion, right? When you have to write or when you want to extract continuous numbers using negative indexing, there is a confusion, but I'll tell you a trick. There is no confusion at all. So leave about negative indexing. Leave about negative indexing. Just understand, if you want to extract 20 and 20.1, tell me till what index you should go. If you want to extract 20.1 till 20.1, till what index you should go? 35? Are you getting? So next number you should go, otherwise it will not take it. So what I will write is starting is minus 4, right? 20 is minus 4. Everyone is clear? What is the index of 20? Minus 4. 20.1 I will not write minus 3. If I write minus 3, what will be the output? Only 20 will be extracted. So I have to write list 1. Starting is minus 4, 20. Ending is minus 2. This is important. If I write minus 2, till what it will go? So what you are writing? Or simple way I am telling. If you are little confused about negative, completely ignore negative. So if you want to extract 20 and 21, what positive index you will write? 0 and 2? Is it clear? 20 and 21, what positive index you will write? 0 to 2, right? Now see what is the negative index for 0, what is the negative index for 2. That is how you will extract using negative indexing. Very simple. If you understood this, can you tell me how to extract 35 and 45.5 using negative indexing?
-2, 0.
So see,
-2 colon.
1 second. So first tell me the positive index, 35 and 45.4. How to extract positive index?
2:4.
Yes.
2 colon 4.
Yes. So 2 starting 2 colon 4, right? Right. So 4 in the sense it's a last number, right? So there is one more trick here. If you are extracting till last, no need to write anything, just leave it blank. So if you write list 1 2 colon blank, it means starting from 2 till end everything you extract. Are you getting? So 2 colon blank means starting from 2 everything you extract till end. Now same thing if I have to write in negative. So 2 index means what is the negative index for 2? -2.
-2.
-2 and then just leave it blank. So starting from -2 till end, everything will be extracted. Starting from -2 till end, everything will be extracted. Is the concept of positive negative is clear? We'll do some practice, but very simple. Negative, do not confuse. Only remember positive, right? Only remember positive, and whatever you want to extract, first write the positive index and then see what is the equivalent negative index for those positive index. Just replace that. Don't think much. For example, here positive index is 0 and 2. So what is the equivalent negative index for 0 and 2? -4 and -2. Just write it. Right. So negative index starts from right to left. Positive index starts from left to right. Right. So we'll do some practice and then again I'll come back here if you have any questions. Right. I think now you can understand. So what I will do here is my list 1. I want to extract, let's say I want to extract, first of all, I'm writing -1. So what will be the output? 34.6. I want to extract high and 34.6. What I will write? High and 34.6 using negative indexing. High and 34.6. So tell me, high means -2. So what I will write?
-2 colon.
Just leave it blank. So high and 34.6. Same thing if I want to extract positive index. High is 1. What is high? The index, positive index for high is 1. 0 and then 1. Second element. So 1. So what I will write here is list 1. 1 and then blank. So same thing I can extract either using positive or negative. Anything I can extract. Indexing starts from 0. From left to right, and it is starting -1 from opposite direction. So either positive, negative, anything you can use. Mostly we use positive. Okay. So this is indexing and selection. Any element you can extract from the list. Okay. Okay. So any question in this positive indexing negative? Is it clear, everyone? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I'm just displaying just for your reference, right? Maybe take 30 seconds and just refresh. So starting 0, 1, 2, 3, from the last -1, -2, -3, -4. Negative is nothing. Just do everything using positive. If you are confused, if you have to use negative, see what is the equivalent negative index for those positive indexes. Write it, right? For example, 0 to 2 means 0 means -4, 2 means -2. Right? If I want to extract 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3 if I write, what is the equivalent of 1 to 3? -3 to -1. Very simple. Positive, negative, anything you can use to extract elements. Okay. So we understood two concepts. One is how to create, and then we have discussed how to select. How to select element. So mutable we will discuss now, but mixed element I think this is clear. Elements are ordered. This is clear. Mutable means what? Once you have created a list, you can change your list. Change means you can add element, you can delete element, and you can replace element. These three things you can do: add, delete, and replace. We'll see one by one. First, let's see how to replace. So replacing is the easiest operation. Replace is the easiest operation. Nothing you need to do. This is list 1. I want this 67 should be replaced with 95. The first element of this list, which is 67, I want it to be replaced with 95. So how to do that? List 1 and you write the index 0. So index 0, whatever the element is, assign the new value 93. So what I'm doing is I'm replacing. So in replace, what I'm doing, I'm saying take the first element, which is 67, and replace it with 93. List 1 of 0 should be replaced with 93. Now if I run this, you can see that my list 1 is now 93. The first element 67 has been replaced with 93. Right? So this is how I can replace any element. Right? Is multiple assignment is possible? Mostly, let us try, right? Let's say if I'm writing 0 and 2, and then I'm writing 93 and 67. Is it accepting? Yes. Is it clear? Same way how I am kind of extracting element or selecting, same way I can also do multiple assignment or replacement. So one element or multiple element I can replace. Right? Is this replace is clear? How to replace? Replace is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Write the index location equals to the new value. Okay. Okay. Now replace you understood. Now insert or add. How to add element to your list? So adding element. So we have 3 functions adding element. So this is my list 1. What is my list 1? This is how my list 1. First is append method. So there are 3 methods for adding. The first method is called append method. One by one we will discuss. The first method is called append method. So what is append method will do? So I'm writing list 1 dot append, and then I'm writing what I want to append. Remember, using append, only one item you can add. You cannot add multiple items. Only one item you can add, and that is also fixed to where it will be added. The item will be added at the end of the list. Item will be added at the end of the list. For example, I'm adding 54. So if you see this list 1, 54 is added. Where it is added? At the end of the list. Can I add multiple elements? Let's say 54, 78. Error. Append takes exactly one argument to given, right? So you can only add one element at a time, and that element will be added at the end of the list. Again, I have added 54 2 times. So one more property of list that I forgot to write, that is duplicates are allowed. So what I will write here? Duplicates are allowed means what? One element can be repeated multiple times. One of the properties, duplicates are allowed means what? The elements can be repeated multiple times. Same elements can be repeated multiple times. So duplicates are allowed. So what I have done, append method I have used for adding element. So list 1 dot append 54, or any element that you want to add, just write the name of the element. It will be added at the end of the list. Right? Now let's say you can ask me one question. I don't want to add at the end of the list. I want to add in some other position, let's say first position, middle position, and any other position. Then you have to use insert method. What method? Insert method. The first one is append and the second one is insert method. The second method is insert method. So how to use insert? So I'll write list 1 dot, I'll write insert, and I will write the element that I want to insert. and I need to write the position where I want to insert. The first value is index. Let's say 1. 1 means at the second position here, highlighted part. There I want to insert, let's say I want to insert 47. Second is the value that you want to insert. So if I write this and then if I run this, 47 has been inserted in the index position 1. If you want to insert at index position 3, 4, 5, first write the index, then you write the value that you want to insert. Index and then value that you want to insert. Okay. So insert method will help you to insert anything. You can ask me one more question, that is, there is a problem with append. What if I want to add multiple elements? Should I have to do one by one should I have to add, which is a not so good kind of approach. Is there any method which will allow me to add multiple elements at a time at the end of the list? Answer is yes, and that is extend method. What method you will use? Extend method you will use to add multiple elements at the end of the list. Let me show you how. This is list 1. I'm going to use extend method. Always extend method will take a list as input or any iterable as input. I will just write 89, it will throw error. So it is saying int object is not iterable. So what it is saying is, if you want to add single element, use append method. If you want multiple elements, use extend. Write all of those multiple elements inside a list. So what I want is first 89, 32, 18, 94, 21. All of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements I want to add to my list. Everything should go to the end of the list. If I run this, you can see what is there in my list now. 89, 32, 18, 94, 21. All of these elements has been added individually, one by one. Right? You can ask me one more question. Why can't I use append here? Let us see if I use append, what is happening. Same thing, but here I'm just using append. And you tell me what is the difference. You can tell me what is the difference between append and extend. What is the difference?
Extend means in the same list, the elements will be there. Here it is appending as a new list. List inside a list.
Correct. So it will take the whole kind of 89, 32. It's a list. It will take it as an individual element. Entire list it will add as an individual element. Right? Extend will flatten, and then individual element it will add. But append will add the whole list as single element. So it is kind of nested list. So the list inside a list. So this itself is an element which is a list. So I told you mixed element, right? Anything can be an element of a list. A list can be element, a float number, a integer, or string, anything can be element. So this element is nested list. So this is the difference. If you want to add multiple elements, you have to use extend. Single element, append. And then if you want to kind of add any other position, not at the end, you can use insert. 3 methods: insert, append, and extend. Is this clear, everyone? Where to use extend and where to use append? Is this clear? Append and extend difference. Is this clear, everyone? Anybody who could not get it? Everyone is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is a confusion like, okay, this will also add in the end, that will also add in the end, but what is the difference? Yes, there is a difference. So that will add individual element, this will add flattened. It will flatten and then it will add. Right? Okay. So this is all about your adding element. We discussed about replacing and then we discussed about adding element. So far, is it clear, everyone? Any question? replace adding and indexing selection. Clear? Okay. Now the last update we will discuss, that is delete. How to delete element, right? Delete. So for deleting also we have 3 methods. And where to use what method, I'll tell you. So the first method is pop. And also pop has 2 varieties. One is pop without argument, and then pop with argument, right? Let's say I'm writing 0 or something. Let us discuss one by one. So pop. So you tell me what pop is doing. This is my list 1. If I write list 1 dot only pop without any argument and then run this, right? I'm getting this entire thing as output. Anybody who can guess what pop is returning?
The last element.
Correct. So pop will always delete the last element of your list. What pop without argument will do? Pop without argument, simply if you call the pop method, the last element, whatever is the last element. So in this case, 89, this is the last element, right? The last element will be deleted. Let us check. So if you see this list 1, is the last element exist? In the list 1, is the last element exist? No.
No.
Deleted. Why? Because pop will delete the last element. Now, pop with argument will allow you to delete any element. With argument, if you are writing, it will allow you to delete any element. For example, I want to delete 67. Now tell me, what is the index of 67? Index of 67.
2.
2.
So I'll write pop of 2. So 67 will be deleted. So pop itself is sufficient. Pop itself is sufficient for deletion. So you can delete anything using pop. The last element, any other element. So just pass the index location and then that particular element will be deleted. And if you don't pass anything, the last element will be deleted. Sometimes, let's say the list is very huge and you don't know the index location, but you know what you want to delete. For example, here, I want to delete 18, but I don't know the index of 18. Let's say the list has 1 million records and I really don't know where this 18 exists. The index of this 18, I don't know, but I know what I want to delete. The name of the element I know. If you want to delete with the name, not with the index, let me repeat. If you want to delete any item with their name, not with the index, you will use the remove method. So I'll write list 1 dot and then I will write the location, the element name 18. So what it will do? It will search for 18 and wherever 18 is present, it will delete. 18 is not there. You can ask me a very obvious doubt. If I write here 54, any idea what it will delete? We have 2 54s.
First occurrence.
First occurrence. So remove will delete the first occurrence, right? The first occurrence, the first 54 will be deleted. The second one will be as it is. 2 times if you call remove, then 254 will be deleted. So first occurrence will be deleted if you have multiple elements. So what it is doing is list 1 dot remove 54. It will delete the first occurrence. Let me show you how. So if I run this, you can see 54, the first occurrence is deleted, right? So let me tell you, remove and pop. Pop you will use if you are using index. Remove you will use if you are using name of the element instead of index. If you are using name of the element, you will be using remove method. And the last thing that you will use is a delete method, delete. So what I will do, delete. And then what I'm doing is list 1 and then write the index. So for example, 89. What is the index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is very similar to pop. So either you can use pop or delete. Okay, so you can see that list 1, 89 is not there. Okay, let me repeat. So for deleting, you have 3 methods. One is pop, you will use it. If you want to delete with index, one is remove. You will use it if you want to delete with the name, and then there is a delete. So delete you can use with index location. Right? Is this delete operation is clear, everyone? Any questions?
Madam, is this delete is not a method here?
Delete is a dunder method. So
No, here the way you are using del list 1 of 0.
it's not a method basically. It's it's a dunder method, or basically attribute, you can say. You can go to dir, you will not find in the method list, you will not find delete. So delete is here, dunder method, but here you will not get, see, don't have delete here. So append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, sort. So as it is not a method, we are not calling it brackets. Okay, but you can use either delete or you can use this remove method. Any one of this you can use, or pop. So pop itself is sufficient. Remove has a different use case. Delete is redundant. You can use it, but if you're using pop, you don't need delete. But is it clear where to use pop and where to use remove? Remove and pop. Is it clear where to use what?
Can we also use colon, like if I want to delete a group of numbers, so group of elements?
Delete will help you that. Pop and remove you.
And
It you can remove a bunch of records, for example, bunch of elements. So using pop you cannot. Let us try that, right? So pop, I have never tried, but it will not allow, I think. So if I write, let's say, okay, let me show you what is the recent list, right? We deleted a lot of things. So this is how my list is looking. If I write list 1 dot pop, right? And then if I write 0, 1, 1, comma, so it is invalid syntax, right? So it is not taking. And you can take help also for better understanding. You can take help. So remove and return item at index, right? So it accept only one index. Whatever items you're writing at index raises index error if list is empty or index is out of range. So if you take this pop, I think this is not allowing, only kind of one element you can delete, but delete will accept. So for example, I will write delete list 1, and then I will write the same thing, 0 to 2, right? So 0 to 2 means what will be deleted, anyone? Tell me, what will be deleted?
93 and 47.
93 and 47, right? Till here. So you cannot find these two elements here. So list 1 if I write, right? So that way, yes, delete is for multiple deletion. Pop is for individual. Is it clear, everyone?
Small dot.
Yeah.
If 54 is actually 2 times 54 is exist, I want to delete all the 54s.
If it is not continuous location, you cannot do it. If it is random locations, for loop you can do, or there is no direct method. Manually you can do it. Like you can write a code.
Okay, ma'am. With the help of for loop.
Yes, you can find the index. There is a function called index. So first you find the index of all 54s, and then those index location you can pass. So you have to do 2-3 lines of coding. There is no direct method for random deletion. If it is continuous, you can use it. Are you getting? His question is very good question. So what he's asking is, let's say 54 is present 5-6 times and it is not continuous or not even stepwise. It's very random. First 54 is at index 3 and then index 30, index 49, index 75, like that. Multiple 54s are there. Can I use delete to delete? Answer is no. If it is continuous, you can use it, or it is step size 2. So there is double colon, you can use it. But if it is random, there is no logic. So you have to first find all the index Or what you can do is remove method.
Madam, if you can know the length of the talks, you can do.
No, what you can do, yes, remove you can use, right? How many times? Count of 54, there is a method called count. So it will tell you how many times 54 is present. And those many times you call remove. So it will remove. So that's what, but that's not direct approach, right? You have to write extra 1 or 2 lines. Right? Okay. So
suppose I have a list which contains like 54 and 32. I want to delete all the elements in that list 2 in list 1. Is there any direct method to do that?
Sorry, I could not understand. So there are 2 lists or 1 list?
There are 2 lists. One list is list 1, which contains all these 4 or 5 values. There is another list like list 2, which may contain 54 and 32. So I want to delete all elements in list 1, which are there in list 2. So is
so
there
those things are, see, those are there is, so there are 2 different lists, right?
Yeah.
Not one list. So 2 different lists, you have to write code for that. You have to match index wise whether the elements are same or not, and then you can do it. But all of the methods are applicable only at list level, individual. So we are all doing it in the single list, not in multiple list. So we have this list 1, right? On this, applying delete or remove or insert or append or extend, whatever we are doing, right? 2 lists, again you have to call remove, delete there. Any other thing you can write manual code. Manual code means you have to write extra codes. There's no, obviously there is no direct method to do that. You can do it, but you have to write some logic to that. You have to match and then you have to delete. Okay. So I was thinking,
if the index passed through the pop or the remove method is not found, will get an error.
Element is not present, you're saying.
Index passed through to pop. If that index is not found in the
out
list.
of bound, yes. So anything you can always take help. So complete, see what it is saying, index error if it is out of range. So always start. So always what you can do is any doubt with respect to that method, question mark, and you will get your answers. Entire thing will be there. The docstring, the signature, the examples, and what it says, if it is index out of range, let's say I'm writing index 6 and it is not there. So you will get out of range error. Right?
Okay.
Index error you will get. You will get index error. Okay. So there is no time for quiz. I was thinking of giving you some questions. So what we will do is when we connect, practice everything, and I'm just going slow because many of you in this batch are very beginner. They don't even know Python. So I'm giving them time to learn Python, right? But I think Monday onwards when we join, first when you join, right, class, that time only I'll give you quiz. The quiz is on list and function, right? Function and list. So there will be 3 questions. You will practice it. You will do it. Maybe in every question will take hardly 5 minutes to 6 minutes. Very small, easy questions. 15 minutes quiz we will take. 9 o'clock only I will start the quiz. And then maybe 9:05 we can start, 9 to 9:05. And then 9:15 we'll start the class. 15 minutes you practice. Or maybe we'll start the class, last 15 minutes you can go for the quiz. Anything is kind of fine. We can do it. Right? So that is there. And also assignment I will upload apart from quiz. Assignment from function and from list and from loops, you will get 2-3 questions. Again, that you can practice whenever you get time. Okay, so let me quickly summarize what we have seen today. So we started with this data structure. The first one is list, and the properties are mutable, mixed element, elements are ordered, and duplicates are allowed. Creating a list, very simple, within brackets, write all your elements separated by comma. Indexing selection, positive, negative. I think this is what we have done. 0, 1, 2, 3, starting from 0, ending last element is -1. Now, after you do this indexing selection, right, anything you can write, like a positive indexing, negative, 0, like just write the index position, you will get the elements. Then we will understand about mutable. So list is mutable means what? You can replace, add and delete. Replace means what? Write the index location and then the new values. Adding means what? Three functions: append, extend, insert. Where to use what? Append, you will use single element if you want add at the end. Extend, you will use multiple elements if you want to add at the end. Insert, you will use any other position, right? Now, if you want to delete, pop is there. Single element, if you want to delete, pop method is useful using index. Last element pop will delete, pop with index will delete any other element. Remove you will use if you don't know the index, but you know what you want to delete, the name of the element. Right? Multiple elements means first occurrence it will delete. Delete you will use mostly if you want to delete multiple elements using index. Right? So using all of this, you can update your list or basically change your list. That's why list is mutable. Okay, so we have list operations, I think, which we can discuss on Monday's class. Tomorrow there will be no class. And in this week, if you have not completed your enrollment, please complete your enrollment as soon as possible so that you can start practicing all of these quizzes, questions, and assignments, right? And use this weekend very well, learning core Python. Don't go for other topics. Whatever we are covering in the class, you first go through those topics and complete the assignments and quizzes. Once you complete that, go deeper inside those kind of topics. Don't go for other topics as of now. I will tell you when to go for what topic. So as of now, focus should be core Python. Core Python means what is variable, what is function, what is loops, what is while loop, what is for loop, what is your list, what is a tuple, what is a set. Basic things you should understand first. Then I will tell you what extra things you can learn from Python. Is this clear? Everyone, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Madam, are you uploading quiz today?
Yes, I did not get the link yet, the drive link.
Madam, we have paid the fees, but I think the registration was not yet done from the institute end.
Okay, so I will update ma'am to create a drive so that I can upload all of
Actually, I tried to call to that number, but actually they are not responding. It's called almost 5 times today.
Yes, madam, we are not getting any response. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I paid the fees morning, so I tried to contact that madam so that she can share the drive, but she hasn't responded. Almost 5 times I called today.
Okay, one thing you can do, this is for everyone. So if you see this call is not getting responded, you can write email.
Yeah, I kept the email already.
Keeping me in CC.
Okay, but we don't know your mail ID.
I am sharing it. So you can email me. But that is the last option. If she is not picking, then only you write an email. Most of the time she is also handling Durga sir's account. So might be busy or something, but no problem. So you can send email to Durga Soft, keeping me in CC. So that I will be aware and I will update ma'am. I will remind her once. Right? I'll call. Okay. So I will.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I will update ma'am so that she will create drive and add everyone to that drive so that you can practice. And one more thing is tomorrow, let us take a break. There will be no class tomorrow. So again, 3 days break I'm giving so that you all people can practice core Python, right? Whatever we have discussed till here. Monday onwards, we'll continue.
Ma'am, this recorded video will be uploaded by today or by tomorrow?
Mostly it should be uploaded by end of today or first half of tomorrow before 10 o'clock.
Yeah, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah, ma'am. Before this lecture also not got uploaded video.
Videos are not uploaded. Okay, I will talk with her. So the thing is, it's yeah. So I will talk with her. She will.
Please. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. I will update her.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend. We'll connect.
Okay, madam. Tomorrow till second half, we will see if she is not responding. Then I will keep a mail keeping you
No,
in
no,
CC.
no, no. Yes, yes. No, no, no need to write any email now. I will tell her. I will call her. She will do it.
Okay then. Thank you.
No problem.
Susmita,
Yes.
yeah, selection and indexing, slicing are same.
Selection and slicing. So selection and slicing, selection means selecting elements, right? Slicing means you're taking a subset.
Slicing means?
Slicing means you're taking a subset. So what exactly you want to retrieve from your list, right?
Okay, okay. Already we done with slicing, right?
Sorry?
Already we done with slicing.
No, no, I think no.
We have done selection. Selection we have done. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, selecting element.
Ma'am, but slicing has not covered, I think.
Yes. So if you have seen the syllabus, so actually what I'm doing here is just following the syllabus, whatever is we have mentioned, right? There are a lot of things. So slicing is basically with.
I think slicing, madam, you have explained, you've taken a subset of this now. 0 is to 0 column 2. That's a slicing only. No?
Slice
Yeah, that's
basically double colon if you use, then you can skip. So step size, right? Like same thing. So slicing means subset only, but what is the exact meaning? Slicing is nothing but you are taking subset. Selection is nothing but one element or multiple element you can select. So we're selecting multiple element, that is slicing or basically subset, right? You're taking a subset from your list. Are you getting? So I think we have already seen this slicing. Only one thing we have not seen, that is double colon, right? So double colon in the sense step size. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 count if you want to skip and then select. For example, 93 I want to select, 67 I want to select, 54 I want to select, 89 I want to select, 18 I want to select. So how to do that? Any idea how to do that? Okay. This is an assignment, you can check. So answer is double colon 2 if you write 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 step size, it will select, right? So that is called slicing in an advanced way. Are you getting? So we have already seen all of these things, but only double colon we have not discussed. Single colon we have discussed, right? Okay. So what we will do is, again, let me tell you one thing. So do not expect very detail about Python. As I said, my syllabus starts from NumPy and kind of pandas. And as a data scientist, hardly you will use all of this data structure. You will understand how vast data science is when you enter inside the packages NumPy and pandas. As a data scientist, we deal with a lot of other things. So really, we don't care about this list and tuple set dictionary data structure. These are very basic things. Mostly we handle using NumPy, pandas. We have Plotly, we have Seaborn, we have Matplotlib, we have sklearn, we have TensorFlow, we have Keras, and then we have lot of GenSim, we have lot of time series packages. So we have sklearn, right? Inside sklearn, we have 30, 40 algorithms. We have big data, we have cloud. So when you go to that level, so these are kind of very basic things. And hardly, if you see any kind of, let's say this is a project, right? On machine learning, hardly you will see any list or something. Most of the things, 70 to 80% of the code, you will write using pandas and NumPy. That is the library which a data scientist is expert, right? So mostly why? Because when you go to those data structures, understand, right? So the intention is just to give you a brush up or kind of revision kind of thing with respect to Python. As I said, the detailed understanding about Python, do not expect from this data science course. If you want to learn in detail, please see Durga sir's video. From me, what you can expect is data science, machine learning, and then deep learning, and then we have statistics, we have visualization, we have pandas, NumPy. Those topics we will see in detail. Is it clear, Ramurthy?
yeah, clear.
Yes. And when you go to data science, maybe after 15-20 days, then you will understand why I'm saying this, right? Most of the things in data science are related to data frames. Your client is not going to give you a list as input, right? Think about a client. what format you will get a data. Either it will be in database, or it should be in cloud, or it should be a big data platform, or it should be in a Excel file, CSV file, JSON file, or it can be a text file, audio file, image file. Do you think your client will give you this number where you can store it in a list? No. Right? So these are just for your understanding. Mostly we have other, it can be MongoDB, it can be SQL, or it can be cloud, AWS, or some big data platforms, right? It can be in your simple Excel file, it can be CSV, JSON file. So we'll be dealing with other data structure, which will help us to deal those kind of data that we will collect from our client, right? So those are our primary areas. These are kind of additional things which will help us in coding. Having said that, this core Python is important. I'm not saying this is not important, but whatever we are discussing is more than sufficient. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, that's a good, ma'am. Ma'am, but I want to, ma'am, just as I told her, I'm beginner. So, ma'am, before going to the Python, any topic, ma'am, today I have gone to the list and easy to understand, ma'am. So
Yes.
before going to the next to the topic, ma'am, will you tell me what are the topics we will go?
Yes, so these things in the weekend you can practice. So if you have time, go for other data structure, list, tuple, dictionary, string, set. So you can either see my videos or Durga sir's video. I have not his video, but I am assuming his videos will be very detailed, more detailed than mine, because his intention is different, right? He's teaching Python. I'm not teaching Python here. I'm teaching data science. So
Yeah,
Python is a part, right? Having said that, this advanced Python is not needed also. Different syllabus for Python. So we have Plotly, NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, sklearn. Those things we will discuss in detail. So I will recommend you to go through Durga sir's recording or my recording, any recording, whatever you feel like comfortable. But ultimately, you should understand these topics, right? And then attend my classes. That is, I think, sufficient. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi, madam. Actually, I was looking for the recordings of your previous classes to prepare upfront.
Yeah. Kishore, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will update, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. I'm calling her now. I'll update.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.